Darcy Gerbarg, an artist who straddles the art world and the computer world. My work is a record of my use of digital technology for making art as the technology is developed. I'm fascinated by visual complexity that incorporates real and virtual objects, captured as a painting on a two-dimensional picture plane or experienced in a fully immersive 3D VR world. While my images may at first appear to have elements reminiscent of more traditional abstract still life or landscape painting, further study reveals unexpected visual turns. The paintings have a new palette and feel the space in a new complex, multidimensional way, resulting in an updated aesthetic. My approach is formalist. I focus on the tools and work intuitively without a predetermined image in mind. I work digitally much the same way as I used to work in acrylic on large canvases, one color, one brushstroke at a time. I use digital tools in each stage of my creative process, including putting the final image on canvas, but all the creativity comes from me. I paint in a fully immersive, three-dimensional virtual world with colored light, creating large 3D VR colored light sculptures all around myself, taking snapshot crop pictures from many angles. Sometimes I take one of these 3D colored light sculptures as an alternative reality object and place it in a real-world environment. Then I take snapshot crop pictures of this mixed reality. When I started using digital color tools, color printers and Adobe software didn't exist. I wanted to paint in 3D years before the technology was able to do it. And today I can describe my work as digital from end to end. There's some examples of exhibitions that my work has been in. Most of these are in the real world. The one I've worked in the last few years, and this is what I'll be doing. A couple of exhibitions I'm in later this summer, and I'm showing paintings on canvas with AR enhancement.
These have been really wonderful. It's interesting that women were actually called computers in the early days of NASA. All the people in the back room were women, and they were called computers. And to see what women are really doing right now is pretty awesome. Negin, coming to us.
I start with technology and art. If art wants to be original, it should be honest. And if art wants to be honest, it should come from our reality, the real life we are living. So when the contemporary time is changing, the reality of our life is also changing. So they say we make tools, then the tools create us. Or when they say you change the technology around a person and the person change. So these days, we have no other way to live with technology. And it's not like we use technology as a tool to perceive things in life or communicate, or it's not just social media. It's actually the way we see the world. So it's as they say, it reveals the world to us. So it's not only we use technology, but technology kind of possesses us with the way it describe our words these days. So we live with this technology. The pace of our life gets faster and faster, and we can no longer have the luxury of free time or not multitasking. And that's why actually once I was reading something in New York Times that it was about why this old media gets boring to the new generation and they cannot wait to watch it. And I was like, oh my God. So a lot of times I watch videos or even some films, I just go in the fast speed because I cannot wait for it to pass. So it kind of changed us and our expectations too. So if we want to be honest, there is no way that we can avoid technology. So sometimes what you think like I came from a very traditional way of studying. I mean, I used a computer for some artworks like this one. But still, it was very limited in my life. Like graphic design, I did a lot of like maybe book design with that. But after I married my husband, Patrick Lichty, the technology around us, around me was different. So suddenly I was surrounded with all this new technology, VR and new computers and all these new ways of accessing the world. So at first, maybe I was resistant a bit, and then I felt like it just opened its way to my work. I didn't approach that. It approached me. So little by little, it actually injected to my word. And after a while, actually, I can say with Techspressionism community, it was kind of a university course for me, because it was like all these amazing artists showing their artworks and talking about how they use technology to express their art, gave me a lot of new perspective to work on new things. So my work in the exhibition, in the exhibition is a part of this installation that me and Patrick worked on. That once we were talking about how we see each other's cultures and countries, because we are not allowed to travel to each other's countries. So all we know about each other's culture is kind of abstract. So a lot of times I was telling him that, okay, we have been raised on American media, either if it is movie, cartoons, and after that internet and all this stuff. And maybe I would know more about America than you know about Iran, because sometimes Americans even don't know that where my country is, leave alone that they know some details about it. But somehow a lot of other countries are so familiar with America because of media and Hollywood and other movie productions and Disney and all this stuff that we actually raised on. Even like if you think a lot of philosophy or psychology we read is from West. So we're talking about how this perception of each other's country is distorted through media and is not the whole reality. And then we were trying to visit each other's country via VR glasses. So we made this installation that I worked these two pieces for that, and then Patrick made a video and these drawings from Iran. Actually, didn't have a 3D map because of limitations. They didn't let Google car to go around and take photos, and the rug was all these countries we visited together, or we described for each other. We made a unique map with all those together, and it's it called the city, means city of love. And so this is the way to me even image of my own country could be distorted through media, because these days we cannot really experience the whole world ourselves. So we all see the world via media somehow. The war, other cities, anything happens, news, everything. No other choice. So to me, both these works were the same. So it started from technology and looking via media and VR glasses, and then I drew them on the fabric. Finish some details from the work. And then again, I took it to the I photographed it and took it to the computer so I can put it together to print out in America, because I couldn't really post it. I mean, you cannot believe how posting is difficult now. I mean, super expensive, like maybe 100 times more than how much you should pay for the post. So I don't know why it's happening, but yeah. So it's again work digitally on it and print it out. And
Beautiful work. Looks great in the show. And I love how you talk about dissolving boundaries, or at least seeing reality, and the fact that technology is part of that democratization, and yet how media, how the Western media is so influential. Thank you, Negin. Cynthia DiDonato.
Hello, everyone. I'm thrilled to be here, and thank you, Roz, for including me with these other amazing artists tonight. And I thought what I would talk about is women and tech, and give a little bit of the history, because we women stand on the shoulders of the women of the past to be where we are. And given, of course, as many have noted, that it's been a hard path and journey to get recognized, I still think we need to honor some of these other women. So I will share my screen. Women were involved with technology 300 years ago, and they worked in mathematics, computer programming, computer science, code breaking, inventions, and of course, art. And I'm just going to give a quick overview, because this could take forever. You don't need that, because I'm the last speaker. The first is in the 18th century, Nicole Renata was a mathematician and an astronomer who predicted the return of Halley's Comet. In the 19th century, we had Ada Lovelace, widely recognized as the first computer programmer. It took 101 years after her death to be recognized by a gentleman named B.W. Bowden. In the 20th century, during World War II, there was the secret Bletchley Park code-breaking operation in Britain. There were 10,000 people associated with this group, and 75% were women, and they were not called analysts, but secretarial staff. Bletchley Park was the birthplace of modern computing. Hedy Lamarr, and I suppose I might be dating myself, maybe for some people out there it's grandmothers or mothers that would know this, inventor and famous actress. She developed the idea for secret communication systems aimed at setting radio-guided torpedoes off course. Her idea inspired our modern-day Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. Now for FEMME, tech, and art. I think it's important that all of us visit Anne and Michael Spalter's digital art collection online. And there you will read about many, many digital artists, but you will see that there are 18 or more feminine artists there, which include, of course, Anne Spalter and Cynthia Beth Rubin, who are with us here tonight. I'm just highlighting one of the computer artists that you'll find on the website and it was mentioned earlier by Anne, is Vera Molnar. And she's a Hungarian-born artist, born in Budapest in 1924. She is considered a pioneer of digital and algorithmic art, and may have designated her, I can't talk, can you tell? Many have designated her the first female digital artist. And she's still alive. And as Anne mentioned, her work garnered quite a bit of money. Thank goodness for all her hard work. Well, this brings us to Techspressionism, digital and beyond. Many thanks to Colin for his work to bring this together, for kicking off. Notice I said kicking off, Colin, the movement. And let me go on to talk about my work. I work as a digital and an analog artist. I work with Procreate and a number of applications. Just lately, I would say in the last 4 or 5, 6 months, I have been working with digital video, and these digital videos are presented in the show at Southampton presently. I'll start with the first one. These videos all reflect for me the concept of time and its passage. Time fascinates me, whether we look at Einstein's special theory of relativity regarding space-time, or the speculation that time may even be reversible in the subatomic world. One constant is that time is always moving, and it's fleeting. And it's this quality that I have hoped to reflect in my work. Here is the second work, called Ascent, and I worked with this. I started with an original photograph that I took of a scene on television. Sometimes I go to the television screen to get images, and then I incorporated that into an app called Percolator, and from there worked with third piece, Continuum. Again, deals with the concept of time. And in this one, I used iColorama, and I used Decim 8, which is an AI app. And I just want to conclude by thanking all of you today, thanking Techspressionism for welcoming so many women into the movement. And so much diversity into the movement. It means an awful lot to me, and again, I thank you.
That certainly took us in another dimension. This whole thing has been really wonderful. I know it's hard to speak in 10 minutes, but I kind of like the format because people have to be concise, and I appreciate all of you for being so well prepared. Thank you for, I had notes down here, Hedy Lamarr, Ada Lovelace, and there's so many others, but thank you, Cynthia, for bringing these women pioneers to us in your presentation.